he managed to get the Worcester Cable Access Company to come to the show, and they are going to record the entire conference and stream it online over their webpage. And once they're done, they're gonna just give us all of the footage and dump it onto us, and we can do whatever we want with it after that. And all of that is totally free.
That's insane. Who is doing this for you?
It's the Worcester Cable Access Channel.
That's so awesome, man.
Yeah, and then I guess we definitely have one person that's going to record all the talks, and I guess we're working on maybe getting a couple of high school kids that do work there, and they might come and bring cameras and just kind of walk around and record a bunch of stuff. And then they're also going to have me on. They have this show called Soapbox. They're going to actually interview me on that on their program and like talk about the fest and everything also.
Wow. Sounds exciting, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So looking forward to that. So
totally.
But yeah, so you'll be able to. So if you can't make it, you will be able to watch the entire thing online. It'll be streaming, and since they're recording everything, I think we'll almost do what what you were saying, Steve. Is once we get the footage, I think we'll just hurry up and cut through it, and just throw a bunch of it up on YouTube or whatever, put on archive.org, and let people just start downloading it.
Yeah, it can't hurt. I mean, I've done that with some of the stuff that I've done, and it's better than just not having anything up.
Right, yeah, because I'm sure people would rather see something half-baked than nothing at all, So.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that. I'd be quite foolish.
That sounds like it's going to be quite a fest, man. Good luck with that.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if there's, less than 500 people this year. I think it'll be considerably better. We're getting a ton of people registering already. If you are interested, go to northeastlinuxfest.org. We keep the site pretty updated. There's links to those BSD certifications if you want to sign up for those there. There's also a registration form that is very helpful if you fill it out. We basically only ask, do you plan on coming to the party? And do you plan on attending the hackerspace? We just need to have a rough idea of what to expect for the after party, and to make sure we're not going to be breaking any fire codes at the school if there's going to be tons of people coming for like the hackerspace stuff. So
I say, if anything, go to the site to admire the wildlife pictures.
We haven't replaced those yet. So.
Okay.
I didn't bring it up this time, Jonathan.
Hey, they look fine to me, so
it's nice. It adds to the site. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Can I ask you real quick, Jonathan, about you mentioned the hotel.
Yeah.
Can I ask, like, how far is the hotel from the event, and how would you grade the hotel? I'll say
the hotel and the after party are on the same street. And where we're having the after party is literally like a 3-minute car ride away from the school. So everything is probably within 10 minutes of each other.
That's a huge plus.
Yeah. And I haven't been to the hotel, but it's Courtyard by Marriott. So it's part of the Marriott chain. So I'd imagine it's not, it can't be bad, So there's free Wi-Fi. Breakfast is not included in the price of the hotel. If you want, there's 2 different rooms that we have blocked off. You can get a king-size bed with a pull-out for $100 a night, or 2 queens and a pull-out for $110. Normally these rooms are like $180 and $190, so we're getting a really good deal on them.
Awesome.
That's a steal.
Yeah. So, speaking of the rooms, if you do plan on staying, you gotta register or reserve them before February 17th. If you don't, that's when they push whatever rooms are left over in the block that I've reserved. They push them back into their pool of rooms to rent out. So if you plan on coming, you got to do it before that. I'm not going to guarantee you can get a room after that. I mean, I might be able to pull some strings or whatever, but I wouldn't count on that. So if you do plan on going and you want that deal, you got to do it before February 17th, a month before the conference.
Cool. Gotcha. So everybody should go to northeastlinuxfest.org, and they really should go to both hotel reservation and registration, correct?
Yeah, you can, if you want to register the hotel, you can either click on the link right there that's on the website, or you can call and just mention you're with the Northeast Linux group. And when you do that, they'll give you the rates if you call in.
Very, very cool. Can I ask you about who some of the talkers are that you have lined up?
Yeah, we have Matt Lee again. He's one of the campaign managers from the Free Software Foundation. We also got John Sullivan, who is the executive director of the Free Software Foundation. We have Drew Levine from FreeBSD. We have I'll be giving a talk on accessibility and free software. We also have James Turk from the Open State Project, which is part of the Sunlight Labs Foundation. He'll be giving a talk on the Open State Project and maybe even Sunlight Labs Foundation. We also have someone from OpenStreetMap giving a talk. We have someone from Sky SQL giving a talk. And there's one last spot open, which it might be someone from Red Hat / Fedora. I'm not sure yet.
Sky SQL. That's honestly the first time I've heard of that. Very cool. And I'll say if you go to fsf.org/about/staff/#MATTL, that there's a healthy beard, son. I had to cut mine. I'm a little, embarrassed.
Damn.
For real.
That's right, Dora. I don't see your beard. Darn.
Yeah, well, she complained a little too much.
Darn. Well, it's hard to do that secretly, so I don't know what you're going to do these days.
I'm just going to start saying what? Huh? But seriously, Jonathan, real quick, you mentioned FSF and Free Software Foundation.
Yep.
Can I ask you really quick, like, what are they about? What do they stand for? Because for the new listeners, they're not somebody that stands on the corner and hands out CDs of software.
Okay. Well, the FSF, the Free Software Foundation, was started by Richard Stallman, who started the whole free software movement, which then, people from O'Reilly wanted to coin free software open source, and that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother separate episode of a podcast. But the FSF stands for Software Freedom, and basically Richard Stallman says, in order for software to be free, you should get 4 freedoms from the software. The first one is you should be able to run the software however you want. Even if it wasn't intended to do what you're making it do, you should be able to do that. The second freedom is you should be able to see the source code. You should be able to read it, see exactly what the software is doing, and understand it. Now, whether or not you take advantage of this freedom, it doesn't matter. You should still have that freedom. You should have the freedom to pay someone to look at it if you don't understand it. You should have the freedom to at least look at it. It doesn't matter. You should have that freedom. The third freedom is you should be able to modify the code. You should be able to change it and do whatever you want with it and make it, again, do something it wasn't intended to do, or enhance it, or do whatever you want, or even make it do something you don't want it to do. You can modify it however you wish. And the fourth freedom is to distribute the modified code freely. And also, with the third freedom, you should be able to distribute the code freely, even unmodified. So you should be able to distribute it freely, modified or unmodified, and you should be able to modify it. Those are the 4 freedoms that come with free software. And if software does not meet those 4 freedoms, then the FSF considers it non-free software.
Now, Jonathan, like, say somebody wants to be a programmer and, wants to be more on the free side. They agree with the Free Software Foundation, but they want to make a business out of it. They want it to be their job because they love creating software so much. How does somebody like that fit into free software? What could they do?
Sure. There's quite a few steps you could take. The first one is you could charge for tech support. You could, if you could give advanced tech support to those who want to use your software for mission critical stuff for businesses. They could pay you for tech support. You'd be the best person to get a hold of because you are the one who designed the software. The second thing you could do is you could basically have bounties. Someone could say, look, I love your software. I really want it to do this. I'm not a programmer. I'll give you $500 to do it. The programmer say, I'll take $500 and I'll modify it for you. No problem.
Cool.
And then when he gets paid for it, everyone else benefits from it because it's still free software and everyone can get those changes also.
Huh. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's just a couple of things you could do.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'll say, here's the thing. If you stop and think about it, most of us are too young to realize this, okay? Pre-1981 or whatever year, well, I think it's 83, the idea of purchasing software was foreign.
Yeah, it was.
It was absolutely not in anyone's logic, not in anyone's thought process. It made no sense to purchase the right to use software, much less purchase the right to use it for only a year kind of thing. That really was created, and it was created after a lot of the great thinkers already went out, to be honest, and gave their souls into making computers what they are today kind of thing. Now, with that said, those people who did all the creating back then, they had families, they had houses, they had cars. It isn't like if you take these four things and you make them a reality, all of a sudden you're gonna have thousands of people working a corner, squeegeeing car windows because they can't make a living.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it would be done different. The idea of having a farm of code monkeys slamming their hands into keyboards and then having a corporate giant, you know, locking in all these companies into having to purchase their software, so they have to buy it again, and then they have to buy it again, they have to buy it again. That wouldn't exist. What would exist, I would really honestly believe, is a more of a things would advance quicker.
Yes.
In a more general basis. I'd say a lot of things would be more competitive, where certain things on this operating system work better, certain things on that operating system work better, and then, you know, so it there are things that are different. I think it would be much more even keeled.
Jonathan, is that the idea? If you follow these freedoms, then the idea is that more advancements can be made with the technology. Is that
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because, you know, like, not that I think this at all, but let's say, you know, the Apple operating system is awesome and it's, you know, everyone wants it, and there's all these great, fantastic, you know, technologies, and they're all bright and shiny and blingy, right?
I loved your disclaimer at the beginning of that. Yes.
So okay, now how we can't build off that. If they're building this awesome technology, we're trying to advance technology, we can't do that. They're building everything in a black box behind closed doors. No one has any idea of how they're doing it, what they're doing it with, you know, what different strings they're using, what different loops they're using. No one has any idea. It's all black magic, and that's only good for themselves as a company. It's not good for customers. It's not good for technology as a whole, and nothing can advance with an operation like that.
Well, knowing them, it would be a white box, and it'd probably be called,
yeah. And kind of hitting on that, like the FSF and free software, they are not against people earning money from creating software. They are not against that at all. They want people to earn money creating software, designing software. They're against non-free software. They're against proprietary software. They're not against making money off of software at all. When Richard Stallman was working at the MIT AI lab, and he ended up stopping his research there and started the Free Software Foundation, the GNU project, he was taking tapes of software, tapes, not discs,
right,
but tapes
cassette
of
tape.
of free software, and selling them through the mail. So you can sell free software. There's nothing against making money off free software. It's all about the source code, and it's all about it being
right.
open.
I see.
So
right,
they're
like
not against you making money.
Right. It's like I could have a fantastic service on the internet with super fast servers. I could sell the right to download from my site. I'm giving you a service. Here's the great site, searchable with tons of reviews, super fast downloads. You know, so it's just slightly askewed, I'll say, from the normal thinking. Now, here's to me the one huge plus. Okay, if tomorrow we woke up and people with power miraculously developed brain cells and their dendrites started to synapse a little bit faster, and these four basic rules would come into their logic, one of the best side effects is the idea and the law of software patents would be null and void.
Yeah.
Done. Because to me, it's one of those things, to someone who does not understand software or the creation of software, the idea of software patents make perfect sense. In the real physical world, to patent a rocking chair, makes a lot more sense, because you had to take time. You had to make machines to actually mold, bend, cut, do all these different things. In software, it's literally typing words and code that is very easily replicatable by someone who has no idea what you typed, because you're both trying to get to a similar solution. piece of junk